Morning, guys. Well, I was going to go and do this one outside. I was thinking even of doing it down at the Sydney Opera House, but it's raining, not that warm, so I thought I'd do it from the car. I've seen some of you guys do it from the car, and it's actually a pretty good, controlled, quiet recording studio in the car, as long as you're not driving along. So I've done my introduction, I've done my vlog 1. I think I might have even done vlog 2, so this might well be vlog 3. I was going to go into the office, script it, but I thought, no, let's just put it out there. I want to keep up with the 10 vlogs in 10 days, so if I try and make it all perfect and scripted exactly and so forth, we'll never get round to it. One of the things I was feeling was a bit of resistance, to be honest. I've got some ideas, some business ideas now. None of them are really grabbing me, and I'm kind of resisting taking the next step. I think sometimes we sabotage our own success for whatever reason. I'm sure there's some subliminal psychological reason why we do it, something that happened to us when we were children or whatever, but I think with this group it's like helping each other. Certainly I've never done anything like this before where I've put myself out on a limb, but I guess with the security of the group and everyone prepared to do that, it really does help. So Brian Rose, thanks, you're a genius for putting this idea together. So business, Brian Rose, that's probably a good segue. I love what he does, and part of me thinks, there's a London reel, could there be a Sydney reel? Not copying your idea, Brian, but just something along those lines. I love the idea of interviewing people. I think I'm a better listener than speaker and drawing information out of people. So that's one of the things that grabs me. Another thing, and I don't really like the expression or is life coach, but certainly I'm north of 50. I've had a few issues that I've dealt with over the years, as I'm sure we all have once you've been on the planet that long. And some of my friends say that I do give good advice, I do listen well. It seems like there's a myriad of life coaches out there, but I think what Brian does is in combining, if you could describe him as a life coach of sorts, he combines that with these fantastic interviews with fascinating people. And I think what that does is it's success by association. A very good friend of mine, he's an ex-managing director of a advertising agency, and what he does to grow his business is once a quarter he has a big lunch with CEOs of companies and talks about the future of their business. He researches it massively and talks about that, and that's the only marketing he does. And I think in the way that Brian interviews these famous people, that's fantastic marketing by association. It's certainly what brought me back to the site time and again, to watch the interviews, and then eventually obviously brought me to trust Brian, to trust the validity of the site and what it stood for, and that it wasn't just another internet get rich quick scheme or all the junk that you see flying through the internet. So that's a bit of a ramble, but I guess I'm looking at some sort of combination between a life coaching type business and the interviewing of well-known people. Now that could take a direction starting with perhaps interviewing successful property people, given the fact that I'm in property. That wouldn't be too much of a jump. And then sort of segue from that into interviewing about other things that perhaps I'm more interested in and more passionate about than the property, and perhaps those people would be more passionate about talking some other things other than their day-to-day business. So that's kind of one direction. And yeah, look, I think probably I can see the 5-minute mark. I think that's probably about the maximum that is useful on these things. I don't want to put anyone to sleep. So yeah, still excited to be here. Some reluctance, some challenges, take it to the next stage, but certainly I've got further with this than I have with some other ideas like this that I've pursued. So let's just keep moving together. Speak soon, guys. Bye.